Good evening and welcome to the Speakeasy podcast. Happy New Year to each of you. And this year we have some amazing new series starting. And this one we have tonight is called Extraordinary Entrepreneurs and Phenomenal Dream Chasers. And in this series, we'll be talking to those who have chosen the path of becoming an entrepreneur and they've chased their lifelong dreams. And so this evening with us for our premiere episode, we have Kim Lewis, wine connoisseur, public speaker, and owner of Ole Wineries of New Orleans, Louisiana. And I'm going to bring Kim to the stage and let you meet Kim. Good evening, Kim. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
I am just wonderful and excited to have you here. And so, what I would like for you to do first is just kind of tell the audience about Kim. Who is Kim, and how did you start on this entrepreneurship journey?
I started this journey back in 2018 when I started this journey. Um, I was in a medical field and I decided that I wanted to do something different. And I took a chance on myself. And once I got this started, there was no looking back.
Okay, and that's the way it should be. Once we get started, we cannot look back. We cannot. And so, just kind of, so you said you were in the medical field. What profession in the medical field were you in at that time?
Yes, working in mental health.
Oh, okay. All right. Mental
Yeah.
health worker here. All right.
Behavioral
Yes.
health and a little personal care as well.
Okay. Okay. And so, how did you become interested in wines and winemaking and your
Well,
path to owning a winery?
Well, I used to travel a lot, so just doing a lot of traveling, tasting a lot of different wines, and being in a position to drinking wine on a regular, I decided I wanted to give it a go. And so, it was easy to fall in love with the different wines and, the passion behind it. And so once I realized that there was an opportunity in New Orleans because New Orleans did not have a winery, I decided to embark on that.
Okay, great. And so, how did you get started with the winery? I mean, I know there were several hoops you had to jump through, and just kind of walk us through that because I know there were probably some days you felt like throwing your hands up and said, you know what, just kind of walk us through that a little bit.
Well, I decided to do my research. So with anything, you have to read, and you have to apply. And so I started by reaching out to individuals who do consulting work in the wine industry. And I came to the conclusion that they were too high and expensive. And so just realizing how expensive they were, I decided to do it on my own. And so I read the information, I reached out to the individuals that I needed to reach out to. And once I gained the knowledge I needed, I applied for my permits and I was approved.
Okay. And so, your team, I'm sure you had to put together a team.
Yes.
So you probably had a team, your startup team, your grassroots team that helped with the research and looked at the
No,
industry.
I did it all by myself to
Oh,
begin.
really?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great, great. And so you miss one man band, I'm gonna call you. So you did your research and you got your information.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as putting the winery together and those is looking at the chemistry behind the winemaking and doing this, how did you formulate your teams? What type of people, what professions did you
I didn't
contact to do this?
I didn't formulate a team until 2 years later.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
once I decided to formulate a team, I eased them in there as I needed them in the positions that they operate in.
Okay.
So
And
it
so
was
tell us, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And so, I had a mentor early on, and my mentor is a winemaker, and he was very helpful, and he was how I got started in the industry. And so, my mentor was able to be that person for me, my go to person, until I was ready to branch off and do my own thing.
Okay, okay. So just kind of tell us about your winery. How did you come up with the name? I like the name. And then what products do you offer and how can we get those products?
Yeah. So Orleans is a winery in New Orleans, the only winery in New Orleans, and it was created to highlight the heritage and history of New Orleans. It's created to tell stories about New Orleans and its culture, and being able to be a souvenir to people who love New Orleans and want to take things back from New Orleans.
Yeah, and I think everyone loves New Orleans. I have never met anyone who did not love New Orleans. It's just a place we can't help but love.
That is correct.
I grew up on the Gulf Coast and we used to go to New Orleans back in the day when the French market was more alive.
Hmm.
And so we would go every Sunday after we got through a Sunday dinner, we headed to New Orleans. And so even to this day, just to go to New Orleans and to hang out, it's just a memorable experience every time I go. As many times as I've been, there's no place like New Orleans.
Hmm.
And so I can see what you're saying about the culture because the culture is like none other anyplace else. And
Hmm.
just having that souvenir collection of wines. And so, how many different brands do you offer?
And so we have 12 different varietals that are available and out in stores.
Okay, and so they're a combination of reds, wines, and whites. What do you have?
Reds, whites, rosés. So Cab, Merlot, white blend, red blend, Tempranillo rosé,
Wow.
sparkling. We pretty much everything that you need.
Okay, and so are you able to order these products online?
Yes, you are.
Okay, now, like myself, I live in Alabama. We cannot order and have alcohol shipped.
But well, we're in some Target stores in Alabama.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, Target, and what other stores are you located?
So we're in Walmart, Sam's, Total Wine, Costco, Trader Joe's, Rose's, you name it. We're in pretty much all of your big box chain stores.
Okay, so Ole Wineries.
Old Orleans wines.
Oh, Orleans Winery. Okay.
Mhm.
And so you can get those products in Target if you live in Alabama like myself. I'll be going to Alabama when I return home to see. You can get them in Rouse's.
Mhm.
You can get them in Walmart,
Mhm.
Trader Joe's.
Mhm.
Um, do you distribute in like only in the South or have you gone?
Primarily in the South, but we're also in New York, but we also ship to 35 states.
Okay, great. That is wonderful to know. That is wonderful to know. And so your passion, you know, was this a dream of yours to own a winery? Had it been a lifelong dream or just
So it turned into a passion later on in
okay?
life. Yeah,
Okay, well, you know what? Whether it was a lifelong dream or not, it was a dream that you brought to fruition with the help of God. And
that's
that qualifies you as an extraordinary entrepreneur and a phenomenal dream chaser.
thank
And
you.
so I just want to commend you on this wonderful effort. You know, like I said, when I read your story on LinkedIn, I'm like, oh, I'm going to send her a request and I hope she accepts because to me, this is just phenomenal. A female owning a winery in the state of Louisiana,
Thank
telling about the history and the culture of New Orleans. This
Yeah.
is just totally phenomenal. Totally phenomenal. And so I'd have one more question for you. Did you have a chemistry background or were you around grandparents that made wine, bootleggers, we call it in the South, or
No,
what?
no.
No.
Mm-mm.
Wow. Wow. And so you said just by traveling, what countries did you travel to?
Oh my gosh, I've been to several countries. I've been to Barbados, St. Martin, Cabo, Mexico, Anguilla,
Wow.
Martin on the French side, St. Martin on the Dutch side,
Wow.
Puerto
Okay.
Rico, Viesquez, several countries. I've Jamaica, Montego Bay. I've been to several countries.
Okay. What about the Spain or Italy? Did you go and taste the wines there?
Nope, I have not been to Spain or
Okay.
Italy, but that is on my
Okay.
list.
Okay, great, great. I have an affinity for the German wines as well.
Oh,
Um,
so you
yeah,
so you like
yeah,
Riesling?
yes, I do. Yes, I do. Um, but I make wine also. My mother used to make wine when I was growing up, so my job was to help her strain.
Mm-hmm.
So as I was straining, she was teaching me the ropes, and so
That's nice.
yeah. So to this day, I still make peach brandy and I make muscadine. 'Cause we grew muscadines in our yard,
Oh,
so
that's
we always made muscadine wine.
good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I just thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kim, for like I said, for agreeing to join.
Anytime you need me to come back, I'm right
I
around.
will have you back, and I will put the word out to support this product
Thank you.
because everybody, this is about the history and the culture of New Orleans. And I know if you've been to New Orleans, you gotta love it. You do love it.
Thank
So
you.
reach out, experiment, buy the product. This is Old Orleans Wineries,
That is correct.
12 different blends. Try all 12. All 12.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you and all the
Okay.
kind words.
And we thank you so much for joining us here at the Speakeasy.
Thank you. I wish you well.
Okay. And Happy New Year again to my guest if I did not greet you when you first came on. And this series will be airing every first and third Tuesday of the month. We will have a different extraordinary entrepreneur and phenomenal dream chaser on. So look forward to this series. We'll be back again on the 17th. Until then, may God continue to bless you today, tomorrow, and always. And have a good afternoon. Thank you so much, Kim.
You're welcome.
Good
Bye-bye.
evening. Bye.